Dillian, the body snatcher right here. It's a champ. Big up to Sporting Icon. Subscribe. Otherwise, I might pay you guys a visit.
Okay, so we're only a couple of days away now for the body snatcher's return. Dillian Whyte, where he takes on undefeated American Jermaine Franklin, 21-0. Now, I understand a lot of people say Jermaine Franklin, he hasn't fought anybody of great note. His best wins were probably a Jerry Forrest, for example. So Dillian Whyte should walk through him, blah, blah, blah. But there's no proof of that. As I said before in a previous video, well, Jermaine Franklin could be one of these kind of guys who fights to the level of his opponent, just does enough to beat his opponent. So maybe he fights Dillian Whyte, he raises his level. Maybe, we don't know. We don't know. But again, you have to remember, he defeated Jerry Forrest. Jerry Forrest defeated Michael Hunter in Michael Hunter's last fight. Officially, it was a draw, but we all know who won that fight. People want to complain about the fact he's taken on Jermaine Franklin. That's weird. I'm seeing that narrative where they're kind of flipping it to say, well, at least Tyson Fury's fighting a Derek Chisora who's battle-tested, unlike Jermaine Franklin. Well, Jermaine Franklin is undefeated. Dillian Whyte is coming off a knockout loss. Tyson Fury is not coming off a knockout loss. Tyson Fury is WBC heavyweight world champion. And he's fighting a guy who he's already beaten twice already. Not only that, he's fighting a guy who Dillian Whyte knocked out. Well, a lot of people criticise Dillian Whyte's performance, saying, oh, he's no good, he's washed up, blah, 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 because the last fight with Tyson Fury. Well, that washed up guy, that guy who's quite clearly no good, according to some of these Tyson Fury fanatics, knocked out the guy that Tyson Fury's fighting next. Anyway, back on to Jermaine Franklin. As I said, when Tyson Fury defeated or was fighting Otto Wallin and Tom Schwartz, both of them were undefeated at the time. Both of them were ranked, much like Jermaine Franklin. He's ranked and he's undefeated. As I said about Tyson Fury with Tom Schwartz and Otto Wallin, well, now it's time for them to prove their ranking. Prove your undefeated record. If not, lose it. Very simple. So I hold the same energy when it comes to Dillian Whyte and Jermaine Franklin. If Jermaine Franklin is ranked, which he is, and he's undefeated, which he is, prove it. Prove it. So I have no problems with this fight whatsoever. None whatsoever. And I know people say, why is it that I'm so biased when it comes to Dillian Whyte? Well, because you're always loyal to those who help you out, right? He helped me and my channel out when I first started my channel. That's why it grew so fast, right? So I'm going to be loyal to him. Not many fighters out there will call me up just to see how I'm doing. Just drop me voicemails to see how I'm doing, asking how my son is with his condition. He does. So I'm always going to back Dillian Whyte, always. Now him taking on Jermaine Franklin, well, why not? Who is it that you want him to fight? When you're saying that Dillian Whyte is no good and he's garbage, well, what's the problem then? What, you want him to fight Wilder? Wilder won't fight him. Who is it that you want him to fight exactly? Who is it that you want Dillian Whyte to fight, that he should be fighting after a knockout loss? Who? Joe Joyce? Well, Joe Joyce ain't going to fight Dillian Whyte November 26th, is he? Dan Dubois? Again, there are reasons as to why that fight didn't materialise. Now, I was supposed to do a podcast with Dillian last week, but he was very, very busy. He had so much going on. So I will do a catch-up with him in due course. But my thoughts and my prediction for this fight is Dillian Whyte. And again, based on the roundtable that he done with Jermaine Franklin and Eddie Hearn, I'm sensing that the old Dillian Whyte's back. The aggressive Dillian Whyte. The one who's looking to put on a beating of someone. The old Dillian Whyte who wants to get nasty in that ring, which I haven't sensed it for him, and I'm sure he won't mind me saying it, in his last couple of fights, I haven't seen that from him in the build-up. He's been very chilled, very relaxed. I like when he's motivated. I like when he's angry. And he's one of these kind of fighters where he can lose, but it doesn't affect him the way that it does other fighters. Other fighters, they kind of go into their shell, they sit around, they mope, they sulk. They take on journeymen when they come back to try and build up their confidence. He don't. You know what? Taking a loss is part of the sport. It is. You win some, you lose some. But regardless, he has one of the best resumes in the heavyweight division. He does. Him taking on an undefeated American is good. And you know what? It's not pay-per-view either. Not like Fury vs. Chisora Part 3. That's pay-per-view, right? Dillian Whyte, Jermaine Franklin is on your regular DAZN subscription. It is. But I feel that Dillian Whyte is going to beat Jermaine Franklin. Again, it doesn't matter who Dillian Whyte fights, I'm always going to back him. Okay? But I genuinely do believe that he's going to defeat Jermaine Franklin, and I think he's going to knock out Jermaine Franklin as well. Of course, he's now with Buddy McGirt. Hopefully we see something, a few adjustments here and there. And I want to see maximum violence from Dillian Whyte. Brutality is what I want to see from Dillian Whyte. That's what I want to see. Make a statement. Come back, fight him, batter him, move on to whether it be an Anthony Joshua fight or whatever. A Joe Joyce fight, down the Bois, however, Wilder. That would be great. I like this fight. I do. Drop your thoughts below. Click thumbs up, subscribe. Catch you next video.